Are you more of a blueberry or banana guy, Jack?
I see where you're going with
I'm
this.
sorry. You can't really have you up here making breakfast and not bring it up. Let's welcome both Jack Johnston and Olivia Tiedemann to the stage.
Okay, we're making French toast.
French toast.
Very complicated.
Are you guys big breakfast people in general?
No.
I am.
Make you banana pancakes.
Olivia, you're the pro here, so I'll let you take it away. Where is this recipe coming from?
This recipe is coming from, my cookbook. The cookbook is titled Eat Like the Rich, but the word like is like really tiny. I started as a private chef, so I worked for just very rich people. And that's kind of how I started making videos online as well. So yeah, that's the theme of the book. We made this custard already, and I kind of have like a little technique where you whip the egg yolks and the sugar, so it's actually like a custard base as opposed to just like, you know, some whole eggs and like some milk. So we're gonna soak it. You wanna help me?
Yeah.
Yeah, get over here. And you're gonna push it down a little bit. You're gonna soak it thoroughly.
What happens if
it's
you
like
don't
spongy.
soak it enough? What would the difference
Nobody
be?
will marry you.
Oh, wow. Oh my God.
So now we're gonna just take the French toast and do what you would think we're gonna do. You ready to do
All right,
yours?
yeah.
Olivia, tell us
Very
a little
nice.
bit more about your journey as we're waiting for this bread to toast.
Oh my God, my journey. I'm wondering when it will end. I started as a chef because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I was like 18, 19, I started working in kitchens. Kitchen environment can be a little bit critical and like tough, and you're not really hearing a lot of positive feedback. So to have so many people all of a sudden just be like, holy shit, that's really cool, or yeah, it's cathartic.
And Jack, you, like we said, have a background in film as well. Tell us a little bit about the documentary that's coming out in 2 months.
We used to make surf films. I studied in college and I learned how to use a 16mm camera. When I graduated, a bunch of my friends that I'd grown up with in the meantime had sort of become a lot of the best surfers in the world, and just got really lucky to get invited on these surf trips. I think with the film that we're working on, like what we hope people would get out of it is just sort of the strength and friendship. Just collaboration, like everything that we did, if you trusted your friends, it just sort of paid off. There was a lot of things that, you know, each one of us couldn't do, but we had a friend that knew how. I knew how to run the camera. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't really know how to think a whole project through. As we look back on that stuff, I just realized like a lot of times our friends were seeing things in us before we were seeing them in ourselves. And I don't know if it's the same in the kitchen or not, like how much you have to trust the team, probably. Like there's people finishing up back there, right?
Yes. Similarly, I've been working on like a YouTube project, so I kind of understand what you're saying, but like you don't know how to edit and you kind of have to figure it out, or you have to
Right.
find somebody that does, and you learn all these things that you never really thought would be part of your job, and they are.
Right.
So I definitely understand, and it's really interesting trying to make something that is sort of documentary style.
What are your kitchen essentials, Olivia?
Some stainless steel pans, always has to be stainless steel.
What about in your fridge and pantry, like your groceries?
I'm a big fan of the Central Market, and like anytime a farmer's market or like a smaller local kind of butcher is available.
And Jack, you are quite the advocate for sustainability yourself. When did that become a part of your life? And also, how does that affect the way you also navigate eating?
Yeah, it's hard for me to pinpoint. I think just the way I grew up, a lot of my favorite memories are camping trips I did with my dad where we didn't have much around us, you know, material things, but those are like my favorite memories of just camping. I think some of that later in my life, when I found myself outside of a venue and all of a sudden I look out there and there was like trucks and buses and all this stuff, and well, how did I get here? This is kind of, you know, we had to start thinking about the impact of our show, the positive and the negative impact of putting on live music shows. So we would try to mitigate all the negatives as much as we could, but then we realized there was like a real chance to expand on the positive, where we could have nonprofit groups at every show, and we try to source not only like the food for the catering, like even the vendors have, you know, local food, local chefs, and anywhere we are, it's like, it's not just about the local food system, but just trying to kind of like support local as much as you can, you know what I mean?
Okay, let's tap back into the cooking. What's happening now?
It's still toast.
Are you kind of like a French toast purist, or do you kind of play around with toppings?
I love to play around with toppings. I actually have a ton of toppings today.
Ooh.
So we have a little blueberry syrup that we made in the back with some wild blueberry. Oh, got
How do you make something like this? What do you do?
there's a couple ways you could do this. This is basically maple syrup and blueberries cooked down. But I kind of like to just use like a really good blueberry jam. And then we have some whipped cream that I put into a blender. So it's almost like a in-between of like butter and whipped cream, you know,
so thicker,
which works
a little bit.
for like a French toast or a pancake. And then we have bacon. because sweet and savory, very fun. Something that I find myself saying really often is that you really just have to like give a fuck, just like a little tiny bit. Anything that you're doing, if you care more about it, if you pay attention, like it's smoking right now, Jack.
I'm sorry.
Lock in a Jack.
You can do anything well if you care and if you're paying attention and if you want to. So I think it's about, you know, just having the interest, having the willingness to like do a hard thing, like do a good job. Really pay attention.
What about you, Jack? I think sustainability can sometimes feel like a really intimidating thing. That if you don't do it perfectly, then you might as well not do it at all. What are your thoughts about small things we can do every single day to get a little bit better at that?
My wife and I started this organization. It's called Kuku Hawaii Foundation, and we have a little farm in Hawaii that we have field trips, little work days, like community work days, and we have a high school internship that comes, and they get to plant things, watch it grow, and then start cooking with the ingredients that they actually grew. And to me, it's not so much telling people what they're doing wrong or exactly like you're saying, like this is exactly how you have to do it. We find like our role is just planting little seeds with kids and kind of showing them what's possible and letting their little minds kind of dream up what the possibilities are.
So I see this French toast is not on the griddle anymore.
French toast is done. So we kind of cooked the sugar on the top a little bit, so it got a little bit caramelized.
Olivia, you're known for really beautiful plating, so I'm anticipating what this is gonna look like on a plate.
I was thinking maybe we both plate one.
Yeah,
That'd be
great.
kind of fun.
So is it resting on this grate for a reason or just as an in-between period?
Actually, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
When you put things down on like a flat tray, when something that you just cooked or seared or like you got a little bit crispy, if you put it straight down on the flat tray, there's gonna be a lot of precipitation underneath and it's gonna go soggy and wet. Here's what we have to play with.
Okay.
Literally, however you wanna
Okay.
do it. These are the pieces and parts.
All right.
Is that hot in your hands?
Wow.
No,
Just
it
going
wasn't too
straight
bad.
into
Wasn't too
it.
bad.
Are you more of a blueberry or bananas guy, Jack?
I see where you're going with
I'm
this.
sorry. You can't really have you up here making breakfast and not bring it up.
You probably don't know this song, but she's making fun of me because I have a song called Banana Pancakes.
Oh no, I know that.
Everyone
it's-
knows that.
How
song,
would I
Jack.
not
Don't-
know that?
Can't you see that it's just raining?
The two worst things I get, well, no, the two best and worst things I get is like people tell me like my family makes breakfast in the morning, we put that song on. It's really sweet, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because here's the thing with that song. Some songs I stay up all night writing and they usually end up on the back half of the record because they're the ones people don't even want to hear. And then the ones people want to hear, they took me like 5 minutes to write. And that was one of those where I actually stayed up writing the song called No Other Way. So I tried to play it to my wife in the morning. She was like, not really paying attention to me. She's awesome and she usually does. And then to get her attention, I just literally said, you hardly even notice when I try to show you. This song is meant to keep you from doing what you're supposed to. And then she turned around and she was like, but that's a good song. And I was like, oh.
You hardly even notice when I try to show you.
She left all the
I
whipped
like
cream
it.
for me.
I did. I didn't know you were gonna do that with it though.
And how do you work this thing?
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Okay, and then the other,
You
oh,
have
go ahead,
some-
yeah.
You got all kinds
Do
of
you
things.
put
I'm
bacon on
curious
your
to see what you're
French
gonna do
Sure,
with this.
yeah. Like I'm gonna use all.
This is very
So,
artistic.
My wife calls me the garbage disposal because I don't leave anything ever.
Oh yeah.
And so I end up eating everybody's leftovers. Any leftovers you had, I put them on mine.
You didn't put any
gotta
blueberry.
put some sauce.
There you go. Well, I'm not gonna put all that. It's like
I think
a-
you should get very artsy with the sauce. I think I like
That's
yours better
gorgeous.
than mine.
That is like fancy gourmet restaurant.
It's actually
shit.
really fun.
Why don't we show both of your guys' finished creations?
Yes.
Hold it up for the crowd to see because I don't know if they can actually see. It's
French toast.
Clearly gorgeous.
It's not banana pancakes.
Not banana pancakes,
no.
but maybe next time. Thank you so much, Olivia. Thank you, Jack. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.